Oi, oi, oi! Tudo bom, gente? Hello, everyone! Welcome to this Q&A. Bem-vindo a este Q&A. I'm sorry I'm 3 minutes late. I had a problem with my computer. I had to restart it. But here I am. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Tudo bom, Jerke? Javier? Tudo bom, gente? Abhishek, it's hard to pronounce your name. Jacob, Monica, Margus, tudo bom, gente? Mary, Shibuzo, João, Juan, tudo bom, Roger? So good to see you. So as usual, we are going to review the last lesson that I published on Tuesday. I'm very excited about this lesson. It was super fun to prepare a lesson about African words that we use in Brazil, that is part of our Brazilian Portuguese. Tudo bom, Charles? Random. Tudo bom, gente? Okay, so a couple of announcements before we start our class. The first one is very exciting. I am organizing the next Brazilian Portuguese week. So if you have been following me for a while, you know that once a week I organize this big event that lasts 1 week. So I call it Brazilian Portuguese Week. And I always have this event at the end of April. So the next one will be the last week of April, from April 25th to May 1st. So add it to your calendar, save the date. I'm going to send you more information about the next Brazilian Portuguese week via email soon. So if you are in my newsletter, if you receive my newsletters, you will receive an email from me about that. If you're not in my newsletters yet, I recommend you sign up for my newsletter so you receive information about my new courses and one new lesson every week. To sign up for my newsletter, just go to my website, speakingbrasilian.com, and click and sign up for my newsletter. Okay, it's completely free, and I send one new lesson every week, and I also keep you updated about the next events and courses. So the Brazilian Portuguese Week is a free course, and I teach during 1 week. I teach one class a day, and I also offer you material to study, and so it's a very interesting week for you to start learning Portuguese if you have not started already, or to brush up your Portuguese if you have been studying for a while. It's an intensive program during 1 week, and it's super fun. So add it to your calendar, April 25th to May 1st. Okay, so this is the first thing. And the second thing I wanted to talk to you before we start the Q&A is, if you want to, if you've been following me for a while and you'd like to support my channel, I recommend you join the Speaking Brazilian YouTube Club. The Speaking Brazilian YouTube Club includes the transcripts of all my videos, all videos available on YouTube. So you have this extra material to study, and you'll also be supporting my channel. So you help me to continue to prepare videos for you every week. Okay, guys? So, okay, Graciela, tudo bom? De Angelo, Ancur, William, Joseph, Sunny, so good to see you all here. So let's start our Q&A, and at first I'm also going to review and talk about a few things related to this last class. So first, if you have questions for me and I don't see your question, you can just copy and paste your question. Again, it's hard for me to read all your comments. So I just want you to know that if you have a question, you just I post the question more than one time so I can see it. Okay, so the last lesson was about words of African origin that we use in Brazil on our daily lives. It is actually part of Brazilian Portuguese now. And this is very interesting. This is really, I really like this topic because it shows how much influence we received from the Africans that went to Brazil. Unfortunately, our history, it is not good, right? All the African influence that we have in Brazil today is because of the slaves that were brought to Brazil during the colonial period. But today we have, Brazil is so rich in culture because of this African influence that we have in Brazil. And in the language, it is very, very present in the language, cuisine, and other and music and a lot of other aspects. So let's talk about language, about some words that we use every day in Brazil, and they are from African origin, especially from Angola. So let's talk about the first word, which is bunda. This is a funny word. It's very informal. I blush a little bit when I say it, but it's not a vulgar word. It is a very normal word. It just feels weird to say this word in a live class on YouTube. But I received a message from a student worried, oh, I should not use this word because it is, it's not a good word. Actually, it's a very normal word. We say it every day. You can say this word in front of children. It's okay. It's not vulgar, it's not a bad word. Bunda, it's a normal word. It's the word that we commonly use to refer to this part of the body. We do have other words to refer to the same part of the body. Usually children use the word boom boom, which is cute, right? Boom boom. And usually adults say bunda. And the standard word would be, the traditional standard word would be Nadegas, but most people would not say that. It just sounds like like from the dictionary. But this would be the traditional standard word. And there is one word that then it is a little bit vulgar, which is rabo. Rabo is commonly used in Portugal, maybe not everywhere, but in many places. Juan, so rabo, so Nuno, I made a video with my friend Nuno from Portugal, and we discussed a little bit about the word rabo. Like in Brazil, it's not nice. In Brazil, in this case, this word is considered vulgar, okay? Rabo, vulgar. I don't recommend you use it. Maybe with some close friends, it's okay, but I don't recommend you use it, okay? You can hear rabo in some funk music, and in some contexts, but I really recommend you don't use it. It sounds really vulgar and not good language at all in Brazil. Although in Portugal, some places it's totally okay. So just to review, we have bunda, very common, you can use it. Boom boom, boom boom, it's like with the children. And then we have the traditional standard word, which is nadegas, and rabo, which I don't recommend you use it. Okay, so we have like 4 words for the same thing, same part of the body. Okay, so if you have questions, guys, let me know. Yes, so nadegas would be the equivalent to buttocks. I think you're right, David. I did some research and I think it is correct. Rabo actually means tail. The dog has a tail. It means tail. That's why it is really not a good word to use in Brazil. It is related to animals. So a question from Paul. Tem mais palavras de origem africana ou de origem árabe? Oh, that's an interesting question. I don't know. We have many, many, many words of African origin and many, many words of Arabic origin. So I don't know. I cannot tell if you have more from one place or more the other place. But we do have a lot of words from these areas, from Asia and also Africa. A lot of words from Lebanon, and we have so many influences from so many places, right? It is hard to tell which place influenced more Brazil. I feel that the African influence is very strong because it started earlier, so it's more ingrained. But words from Arabic, Arabic are also everywhere. So I think it is also a very strong influence in Brazil. I am planning to make a video about Arabic words in Brazilian Portuguese as well. Usually words that start with AL in Portuguese, usually they are from Arabic origin. Looking for more questions, guys? Okay. Muito bom. So let's move on to the next word. I think this first word was the most fun one. Kashimbo. Kashimbo. Kashimbo means pipe, so used to smoke. It is a word that also comes from African origin. Kashimbo. So be careful with the pronunciation with the CH. In Portuguese, the CH is always pronounced as sh. Kashimbo. It is written with CH, but it is pronounced as sh. Kashimbo. Okay, Kashimbo. And the next word is caçula. Caçula, with the C cedilha, with the C with the little thing below. Caçula means the youngest child, so the youngest son or daughter. And this word can be used for two genders, so this is an interesting thing about this word. It can be o caçula, like if it is a man, or a caçula, if it is a woman. So I'm going to give you two sentences using this word. João é o caçula da família. So João is the youngest of the family. O caçula. So in this case, if I'm talking about a man or a boy, I should use the masculine article right in front of the word caçula. O caçula. But if I'm talking about a woman or a girl, I should say a caçula. Por exemplo, Maria é a caçula da família. So, a caçula. So this word, we have many words like this in Portuguese. They work for both genders, and we just change the article right in front of the word so you can tell if you're talking about a man or a woman. So, o caçula, a caçula. Okay? So this word is also very common, also comes from African languages. Looking for more questions, guys. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to continue. So one question from William: how often are these African words used in everyday language? All these words that I mentioned in the video are used every day, very often. It really depends on what you're talking about, but they are used every day, very often. Everywhere in Brazil, as far as I know. So they're all very, very common. We have a lot of other words. Some words are more common than others, but this list that I made for this video, they're all very common and we use every day. Okay, so you can really use it. Okay, so the next word is Kafuna. Kafuna. I love this word. It's cute. And I don't think there is any translation into other languages. Kafuna, it means it's a noun, but it means a verb actually. It means like to caress someone's head, like gently. So it's something that you only do with someone that you really know, that you're very intimate with. So kafuna is to caress, to stroke someone's head. Especially it's in the head. So Kafuna, and it is also very common word. Então, por exemplo, eu gosto de fazer cafuné no meu cachorro. It means I like to pat my dog's head. I could say fazer cafuné. So usually they use the word cafuné, since the word cafuné is a noun, we use with the verb fazer. Fazer cafuné. We could also receive, right? Receber cafuné. But the most common verb used with this word is fazer cafuné. It's very cute and we use this a lot. Okay, so the next word is farofa. Farofa. Farofa is a kind of food. It's a Brazilian dish. And the word also comes from African origin. It's a Brazilian dish made with manioc flour, and we usually fry it. Is a fried manioc flour with a little bit of oil and spices, and usually onions or garlic and other stuff. So this is farofa. It's usually a side dish used to serve with very traditional Brazilian dishes like feijoada. Usually we eat feijoada with farofa and other dishes with farofa. So this is very, very common. It is not exactly flour, because flour is just the flour. Farofa is a dish prepared with manioc flour. Okay, it's a dish. It looks like a flour, but it's not just flour. It's a dish prepared with manioc flour. Okay. The next word, since I'm talking about food, I'm gonna talk about these three words, these three foods that are that I added to the video, which are farofa, fubá, and muqueca. They're both these three words are Brazilian dishes, and we have, and they're all from African origin. Fubá means cornmeal or corn flour. So it's a kind of flour that it is made from from corn or rice, but the corn one is the most common one. But it could also be made with rice, and so I think it could translate as cornmeal. And we use this in so many dishes in Brazil. We have so many dishes made with fubá. The most traditional ones are bolo, like fubá cake, bolo de fubá, or like a cookie that we call broa de fubá. So these are very, very traditional in Brazil. Okay, so the next word, these are like Koshila. It's a very cute verb, and it means to take a nap. So it's a verb that means to take a nap. It means napping, but also use this verb when you doze off, when you sleep, but it's not exactly planned. So it's the same verb in Portuguese, cochilar. Also with the ch, so be careful with the pronunciation, okay? Cochilar means to take a nap. Então, por exemplo, eu gosto de cochilar depois do almoço. So I like to take a nap after lunch. So, cochilar. We also have the phrase tirar uma soneca, but which also means to take a nap. But soneca is a word that's mostly used for children. So usually children, you could say vou tirar uma soneca, but usually adults use the word cochilar. But we also have the so cochilar. I'm gonna write here cochilar. So I just wrote a comment in cochilar, and the last R pronunciation varies a little bit depending on the place. Sometimes it sounds like we are not pronouncing the R, but most of the time we are. So Koshila, it's like a very subtle aspirated sound. Koshila. Could also be koshilar, depending on the region, or koshilar. So the R sound at the end of words usually is really fast, so sometimes you cannot hear it, but usually it is pronounced and it can have 3 different pronunciations depending on the accent, okay? Koshilar. Now I'm exaggerating just to show you the difference. Muito bom. Looking for questions, guys. As palavras de origem africana são mais comuns em regiões específicas do Brasil ou em dialetos específicos? Yes, it varies a lot. Brazil is a really big place, and some places in Brazil have more African origin, African influence than others. So yes, some words are more used in some regions than in others. So in the south of Brazil, we have a lot of influence from German and Italian and other languages. So in the northeast of Brazil, we have a more stronger influence from African languages. So this varies. So yes, we have many different words that are used in different places, but these words that I made on this video, they're used all over Brazil. The plate muqueca is more common in Bahia and Espírito Santo, 2 states, but we have this plate everywhere in Brazil as well. So and the other verbs, the other words that are used everywhere. So the language in Brazil varies a lot from one place to another. I made a series of videos talking about all the different regions in Brazil. If you have not watched it yet, I recommend you do. You'll find it on my YouTube channel. Okay, guys, if you have questions, let me know. So I'm surprised that someone from Sri Lanka is interested in learning Portuguese. Why? I have students from all over the world. I have students from more than 20 different countries and all the entire globe. Most of my students, they learn Portuguese because they have a relationship with a Brazilian. So a boyfriend, a girlfriend, husband, wife, and they want to communicate with the spouses or boyfriends, girlfriends, family. So this is the most common reason, which I think is super cool. And the second reason is just like they have Brazilian friends, or they have they just like Brazil and want to go to Brazil and visit Brazil and be able to communicate a little bit in Brazilian Portuguese. I have a few students that learn Portuguese because of work, because they work for a Brazilian company, or they have Brazilian colleagues or Brazilian clients. I have some students that are learning because they're moving to Brazil for some reason, or personal or business. So many reasons. There are a lot of people learning Brazilian Portuguese for many different reasons, and some just because they like the language, they like the way that the language sounds. So many different reasons. Muito bom. Ah, que legal, Tolga. Turco-baiano, que máximo. Porque gosta. Muito bom, Juan. Oh, I love that you guys are saying why you're learning Portuguese. Let me know, guys. Por quê? Por que você estuda português? Why are you learning Portuguese? Obrigada, Sunny. Olá, Ko. I would love to go to the Philippines someday. Sério, muqueca nos Estados Unidos. I think I never had a muqueca here in the US. Muito bom, gente. Okay, if you have more questions, let me know. I'm going to continue with my list. If you have questions, let me know. I'm going to stay with you for a few more minutes. So don't miss the opportunity to ask me questions. So this is another very common reason. Bossa Kenny, tudo bom? I have many students that learn Portuguese because of capoeira. Since we're talking about African origin, capoeira was created by African slaves in Brazil in the colonial period, and it's a beautiful sport. And I have a lot of students that are learning Portuguese because they like capoeira, and also because of jiu-jitsu. So two sports that a lot of students are learning and want to learn Portuguese because of that. So capoeira and jiu-jitsu. Muito bom. Is boné a word of African origin? I have no idea. That's a very good question. I have to check that out. Muito bom. Looking for more questions, guys. I just enjoy the language. Very good, Jacob. Yeah, I love when the students learn just because they want. It's a very good reason, right? Why not? I love the way it sounds, similar to Spanish. Perfect. Excelente, gente. Okay, I'm gonna continue. Think about questions. If you have questions, let me know. So the next word is moleque. Moleque, it's a fun word. It means like a naughty boy. It's usually used for boys. It can have like just a fun meaning, like, oh, you're being naughty, you're doing something terrible, like, kids, they're too excited, and but it can also have a negative meaning, so be careful with this word. It can mean like someone that is responsible. So if you say, oh, João é moleque, it means that he's not responsible. He does things without thinking. So be careful. If you're talking about a kid, it can be funny, but most of the time it can have a negative connotation, the word moleque. Muqueca, I talked about muqueca. Muvuca, it's a funny word as well. I love all these words. So muvuca, it's a crowded place, like a lot of people, and it's a little, it's kind of a messy place with a lot of people and noise. It's a muvuca. So we use this word a lot. So, eu não gosto de muvuca. When I say that, it means sometimes people invite me to go somewhere, and I know that there will be a lot of people and noise, and I say, não, obrigada, eu não gosto de muvuca. Means I don't like crowded places with lots of people and lots of noise. Não gosto de muvuca. Okay, just checking if you have questions. James, that's a very good comment. I actually prepared a video already about indigenous words that we use in Brazilian Portuguese, and I'm publishing this video next week, so stay tuned. Next Tuesday, I'll publish the video about indigenous words. I made a selection of 10 words, so we can talk a little bit about it. We have a lot of words of indigenous origin that we use in Brazilian Portuguese, and we actually have a lot of indigenous languages that are spoken in Brazil right now. and but they're only spoken in their reservations, right? But we in Brazilian Portuguese, like in the rest of Brazil, like non-indigenous people also use a lot of words from indigenous origin because of the influence that indigenous have in Brazil, in the rest of the country. Okay. I don't know about Portugal, if moleque is a negative word in Portugal. Do someone knows how to answer this question? Is moleque even used in Portugal at all? Because we in Portugal did not receive this African influence that we received in Brazil, right? Portugal did not receive African slaves, so I'm not sure any of these words are used in Portugal at all. Maybe they do use because Portugal also sometimes assimilates some words from Brazil. But I don't know if they use this word in Portugal at all. If you guys know, let me know. What is my favorite Brazilian food? It's actually muqueca, one of the words that I just said. Muqueca is one of my favorite Brazilian foods. I'm vegan, so I eat a vegan muqueca made with banana da terra. And I made a video about this. It is available on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. It is important to learn a sotaque when you speak the language. I actually recommend you don't worry about accent, about sotaque when you're learning a language, any language, because it just adds one more stress, one more thing for you to think about. When you learn a language, you will have an accent. It is impossible to speak a language without an accent. You guys see that I'm speaking English here. I know I have an accent. I always have an accent. So I don't think you should worry about that. When I learned English, I didn't care about accent at all. My accent naturally became a little bit more like Brazilian / American because I live in the US. So your accent, you will look more, it will be similar to the Portuguese. If you listen to a lot of Brazilians, it will be similar to the people that you listen to, so you naturally imitate these people. But I really recommend that you don't worry about it because you won't make any difference, because your personal accent will be different from everyone else, because it will be a mix of your own native language, your mother language, and Portuguese, and the other languages that you speak. So don't worry about that. It's just stressful to think about that. Unless you really, really like one accent, then you could, try to learn that accent if you really want. But I never did that. Muvucão, yeah, Muvucão is like a big muvuca, so this is like really crazy place with a lot of people, a lot of noise. Okay, guys, looking for more comments here. Okay, so just to finish the class, the last two words that I did not mention, it is quitanda. Quitanda means like a small grocery store, usually with selling fruits and vegetables, but also they also can sell other stuff as well. Usually it's a small grocery store, usually in small neighborhoods. Quitanda, quitanda. And the last word is samba. Everyone knows what samba is, and this samba culture and is also not only the word, but samba itself was also brought to Brazil by the African slaves. So samba is the name of a dance and music genre that is very, very common in Brazil. Okay, guys, so this is the lesson. I think I reviewed all the lessons. Just let's checking your comments. Muito bom, gente. So that's it for today, and I'll be here again next week, next Thursday at the same time. So Thursday, 12 p.m. New York time. So stay tuned. I recommend you watch the lesson before you join the Q&A. So I published the new lesson on Tuesday evening, usually New York time, and then I'll have the Q&A on Thursday. Okay? So I see you next week. Um beijo e boa semana. Tchau, tchau.